There are very few game series that people would actually describe as groundbreaking or legendary, and oftentimes the one that comes to the top of the list is something like Metal Gear Solid. The classic games are not just good, they're unique. Nobody but Hideo Kojima could make something that's so political, so intricate, so bizarre. Something that has both vampires and giant metal robots trying to stop the Cold War. But today, we're talking about the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection because it's about to come out, and the first reviews are starting to drop, and they're surprisingly negative. Let's discuss. Hi, what's up gamers? DreamcastGuy here. I hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So, this technically releases here in just about 16 hours, and a lot of the initial talks about this were positive. The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection is re-releasing the original trilogy of Metal Gear Solid, and honestly, these games are fantastic. They're aesthetically they're kind of clunky, but you can't deny that the voice acting, the plot lines, the writing are truly top notch. So in this package, we get the original games of Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, 3 obviously being the one that everybody loves the most, but also the classic NES games of Metal Gear and Snake's Revenge. So this morning, I was shocked to wake up and look at Metacritic and OpenCritic and seeing people were not exactly thrilled about it. So, what's the issue? Apparently, it's just the fact that this doesn't really feel like it's worthy of the franchise. This is some of the world-class best games ever, and yet they're pretty lazy, straight-up ports. I mean, the original Metal Gear Solid isn't even 60 frames a second. None of these games are 4K. They're very much just bare bones, copy and paste repackages with a much bigger price tag on it. A lot of these different synopses I'm seeing, these little blurbs and stuff I'm seeing across multiple blogs are echoing the same sentiment, which is that it isn't that this is bad, it's just that the optional side stuff like screenplays and extra concept art doesn't really seem like it's worth paying full price for these games again. And also, you can't buy them individually on consoles. On Steam, you can buy these one by one, but if you're actually trying to play this on the PlayStation 5, you have to pay full price, even if you don't want these other games. But here's the other part of it. Of course, it does not contain Twin Snakes. So, if you're not the hardest core Metal Gear Solid fan, you may not know this, but they did a full remake of the original Metal Gear Solid, and it's fantastic. It is super, super good. It's got completely redone graphics. They've got basically on par visuals of Metal Gear Solid 2. It's so incredibly fantastic, including a bunch of totally redone scenes where Snake is fist fighting tanks and stuff practically. I mean, it's insanely good. This is still not being redone. It's still not in the collection. So people are being like, okay, so they have done nothing major. But I wanted to take a look at this specifically because this is the meanest review. I always like to try and find the lowest score. This guy gave it a 5 out of 10. Now, this kind of makes sense. He is an Australian. For him, the game is $100. Definitely not for that price. This is a bare minimum fare offering up a lazy bundle for far too much. A lot of the reviews I have read, because I was actually curious about buying this, are echoing the same sentiment, which is the fact that this stuff isn't terrible. It's just that they could have given it to us in a better way. It's great that we finally have a way to play Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 on my PlayStation 5 or on my PC or even on my Nintendo Switch, which honestly is very cool. But why not go a bit further? Why not upscale it? Why not remaster it? Why not put in some extra stuff to make the assets look better, or even try and clean up the audio? Because this is actually one of the things that shocked me the most. People talk about the fact that apparently the audio is messed up. Let me scroll down here. The audio across all these Metal Gear Solid titles is bad, just bad. There's a ton of clipping throughout, and I'm at a loss as to why this was allowed to happen. And that's insane to me. I even decided to actually pull up and watch some gameplay for myself, and I will say, I do think it looks good, especially if you've played this, but I mean, let's face it, it does seem like they could have done more. I mean, look at these hard edges and stuff, or like, let me rewind a couple seconds here. Look at the fact that when he sees this object here, you can see the hard edges on this texture surface. I mean, I'm not saying that they could have completely redone the entire game, but it just seems like if you're charging us full price for a port, full price for a re-release, maybe try and go that extra tiny step further. I mean, these games are good. I still think they're incredibly great. But this still, to me, looks like the previous HD collections. We had an HD collection on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, and those actually had more games. This is just the exact same game again for even more money. Konami is unfortunately very famous for milking their franchises, turning them into pachinko machines or selling NFTs of it or just doing terrible lazy ports, and it sucks that once again they have done it. I mean, I'm very conflicted here because I love Metal Gear Solid. I 100% planned on buying this purely because I like collecting trophies. In fact, even today, I just got the Platinum Trophy for Spider-Man 2, and it was incredibly fun. I want to platinum the Metal Gear Solid games, but at this price, and the fact that I can't just buy them one by one, I will admit that's a gigantic turnoff. And the fact that the original Metal Gear Solid, I can play all the different variations of Metal Gear Solid, but I can't play it in 60 FPS. I don't know, man. It just seems like it could have been better, and Konami did the bare minimum, like always. Stuff like this is just so disappointing because it's been such an amazing week for games. Literally, in the last 4 days, we had 2 games that scored a 90 on Metacritic. Literally here, Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Wonder both got 90 on Metacritic. And here we are 3 days later getting a 76 on Metacritic on a game that deserves to be an 11 out of 10. But Konami just said, screw it, push it out, somebody will buy it. But what do you guys think about it? Are you excited about the Metal Gear Solid HD collection? Does this seem like another Konami L? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Next to review, by the way, is going to be Alan Wake 2. So get ready for that. Been 13 years that I've been waiting to play that game. Well, I mean, maybe I'm already playing it. Maybe I have played it. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.